Dreams of the shadows? It was a serene night, and I drifted into a world of pleasant dreams. The moonlight streamed through my bedroom window, casting a gentle glow upon my slumbering form. Little did I know that the tranquility of my dreams was about to be shattered. In my dream, I found myself wandering through a picturesque forest. The trees whispered secrets, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of pine. The path ahead was bathed in an otherworldly light, beckoning me deeper into the heart of the woods. Despite the beauty surrounding me, an inexplicable sense of unease clung to the air. As I strolled along the winding path, I noticed shadows dancing between the trees, their movements unpredictable and unsettling. My footsteps echoed through the stillness, creating an eerie symphony that resonated in the quiet of the night. The further I walked, the more the atmosphere shifted and the once pleasant dream began to unravel. Suddenly, the path ahead disappeared, swallowed by an impenetrable darkness. The whispering trees transformed into haunting murmurs, and the air grew thick with an unsettling energy. I felt a cold chill crawl up my spine as the shadows converged around me, taking on sinister shapes that seemed to mock the beauty of the dream. Desperation set in as I attempted to find my way back to the serene forest, but the shadows seemed to multiply and close in. Panic gripped me, and I sprinted through the obsidian void, stumbling over unseen obstacles that seemed to materialize out of thin air. The once enchanting dream had become a nightmare, and I struggled to wake myself from this haunting realm. Just when I thought the darkness would consume me, I awoke with a jolt. My room was cloaked in an inky blackness, and a lingering sense of dread clung to the air. I could feel the presence of something just beyond the edge of my perception. As I fumbled for the light switch, the shadows in my room seemed to writhe and twist, taking on sinister forms. The dream had followed me into reality, and the line between the two became blurred. I could hear the same unsettling whispers from the dream, now echoing in the darkness of my room. With a trembling hand, I managed to illuminate the room. The shadows dispersed, revealing my familiar surroundings. But the sense of foreboding lingered, and I couldn't shake the feeling that the dreamscape had left a lasting mark on my reality. From that night on, the boundary between dreams and wakefulness blurred, and the shadows continued to whisper their unsettling secrets. I couldn't escape the feeling that something had crossed over from the dream world into my own, and the once pleasant dreams became a portal to a realm where nightmares and reality converged. As the days passed, the veil between the dream world and reality grew thinner. I found myself caught in a constant state of unease, never quite sure whether I was truly awake or still trapped within the clutches of that shadowy dreamscape. During waking hours, I became haunted by the lingering echoes of the dream. Shadows seemed to linger in every corner, and the air held a tangible tension. I dared not share my experience with others, fearing they would dismiss it as the mere remnants of a vivid imagination. As nightfall descended, the shadows in my room became more palpable. Sinister whispers filled the air, a symphony of eerie voices that echoed the haunting murmurs from my dream. Sleep became a realm of uncertainty where the boundary between pleasant dreams and unsettling nightmares dissolved into an indistinguishable haze. One night, as I lay in bed, the room plunged into darkness. The shadows coalesced into a grotesque figure, a silhouette with piercing eyes that seemed to stare directly into my soul. Frozen in terror, I watched as the figure extended an elongated arm towards me, its fingers stretching like tendrils. Desperation clawed at my throat as I struggled to wake myself from this waking nightmare. I could feel the phantom touch of the shadowy fingers, an icy chill that sent shivers down my spine. Just when it seemed that the darkness would consume me entirely, I awoke with a gasp, drenched in cold sweat. Morning light flooded my room, but the oppressive atmosphere lingered. The boundary between dreams and reality had become a tenuous thread, threatening to unravel at any moment. I began to question my sanity as the shadows continued to encroach upon my waking world. Determined to break free from this sinister cycle, I sought the help of experts in the paranormal. They delved into the mystic and esoteric, attempting to sever the connection between the dream realm and my reality. Yet, their efforts only seemed to intensify the malevolent forces that plagued me. Haunted by the relentless shadows, I realized that I needed to confront whatever had crossed over from the dream world. Armed with courage born of desperation, I ventured into the heart of the forest from my dream, the place where the boundary had first unraveled. As I entered the shadowed woods, the air became heavy with the same foreboding energy. The whispers surrounded me, echoing through the trees, but this time I pressed forward. The shadows twisted and contorted, attempting to thwart my progress, but I pushed on. In the heart of the forest, I confronted the grotesque figure that had haunted my dreams. It loomed before me, a manifestation of the darkness that had seeped into my reality. With a surge of determination, I demanded it release its hold on me. The figure convulsed, its features contorting in pain, and with a deafening roar, it dissipated into the shadows. The oppressive energy lifted and the whispers faded away. The boundary between dreams and reality solidified once more. As I emerged from the forest, the moonlight bathed the surroundings in a soft glow. The once haunting whispers were replaced by the gentle rustling of leaves. I returned to my waking world, forever changed by the ordeal, but finally free from the clutches of the shadows. Yet, even in the safety of wakefulness, I couldn't shake the lingering fear that the dream world and reality were not as distinct as they once seemed. The boundary remained fragile, a reminder that the line between the pleasant dreams and haunting nightmares was, perhaps, more permeable than anyone dared to believe. Months passed, and life seemed to regain a semblance of normalcy. The haunting shadows and malevolent dreams were tucked away in the recesses of memory, like a nightmare fading with the dawn. But as the seasons changed, a subtle undercurrent of unease persisted, a constant reminder that the boundary between the realms of dreams and wakefulness was a fragile construct. One ominous evening, a dense fog rolled into the town, cloaking everything in an eerie stillness. As I walked through the dimly lit streets, a sense of déjà vu crept over me. The shadows cast by the flickering streetlights seemed to dance in a familiar, unsettling manner. A chill ran down my spine, and the air became heavy with the same foreboding energy that had plagued my dreams. The town's atmosphere transformed into an unsettling dreamscape, and I realized with a sinking feeling that the nightmare was not over. The boundary between the two worlds had once again blurred, and the shadows were converging, whispering their ominous secrets. Panic gripped me as I tried to discern whether I was still in the waking world or trapped in the clutches of another haunting dream. Desperate for answers, I sought out those who had assisted me in the past. The experts in the paranormal who had attempted to sever the connection between the realms of dreams and reality. Their faces paled as I recounted the return of the shadows, and a sense of urgency filled the room. Together, we delved into ancient texts and obscure rituals, attempting to uncover the source of this malevolent force. As we immersed ourselves in the mystic arts, the shadows in the room seemed to writhe and pulse, as if reacting to our efforts. In our quest for knowledge, we uncovered a forgotten legend that spoke of a cursed nexus, a point where the boundaries between the dream world and reality were thin enough to be breached. It was said that the curse could only be broken by confronting the entity that bridged the two realms and releasing it from its eternal torment. With newfound determination, we embarked on a perilous journey to find the cursed nexus, a place where the shadows and nightmares converged. The fog thickened as we approached, and the air grew colder, carrying with it the haunting whispers that had tormented me before. As we reached the nexus, the shadows took shape once again, coalescing into the grotesque figure that had haunted my dreams. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity, and a sense of malevolence emanated from its form. We steeled ourselves for the confrontation that would determine the fate of both worlds. With a commanding voice, I addressed the entity, demanding to know its origin and purpose. The figure trembled, its features contorting in agony. Through the darkness, a tortured voice emerged, recounting a tale of betrayal and suffering that spanned centuries. It was a spirit caught between realms, seeking redemption. In an act of compassion, we endeavored to help the entity find peace. Together, we performed a ritual to release it from its spectral chains. The shadows convulsed, and the air crackled with energy. The figure gradually dissipated, leaving behind a profound stillness that filled the cursed nexus. As the fog lifted, the shadows in the town retreated, and the malevolent whispers faded away. The boundary between dreams and reality solidified once more, and the haunted dreamscape relinquished its grip on the waking world. In the aftermath, the experts and I stood in the quiet aftermath, the weight of the supernatural lifted from our shoulders. Yet, as we looked at each other, a shared understanding lingered. The nexus may be sealed for now, but the delicate balance between dreams and reality would always require vigilance. As I returned home, the town bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight, I couldn't help but wonder if the thin boundary was a natural part of existence, a reminder that the mysterious and the terrifying could never be fully separated from the world of dreams and nightmares.